Oh, geez, it's 7:02.
I know, we're very
Isn't
late.
there too?
We are really
what?
running behind
Oh
schedule.
my god.
Just forget it. Next week we'll come back. We'll be refreshed. We'll hit it on time, and maybe we can start.
Welcome everybody this week to the Damage Per Second podcast. I'm your host Jay Barino, here with Brett and Keith. Introduce yourselves.
Sumalamadoomalama, I'm here. I'm Brett.
Hi, I'm Quimberly.
Quemberley, that's an interesting name. Thanks for joining us this week. I don't think I've ever heard someone with that name before.
Well, it's the first time, but it won't be the last time.
That's interesting because all the special guests that sound similar to Keith never seem to make a reappearance on this show.
It's on a 1,000 episode repeating cycle.
We're almost there, folks. It's week number 38, and here's the thing, and this is a call to action, folks. 38 is a very important number this week. You really got to keep this in mind. I'm sure a lot of people have been hearing a lot of news about YouTube changing their community guidelines. 38 are the number of likes that this video needs to get for my video not to be not just my video, but my whole channel to not be banned on YouTube. YouTube's cracking down. You don't even want to know what they're doing behind the scenes with those community guidelines. You thought the guidelines were vague, man. They're just banning people left and right. All right, so let's see those likes pour in. We got to show YouTube that 38 is what is us, is Jayborino is 38. That's enough to stay online. So let's try to meet our goal this week. 38 likes, folks.
Now 38.
38.
38. I know that you're thinking that sounds like a very specific number. Why is that number what we need for your site not to get banned? Well, it's very complicated, complex. There's a lot of rules that go into it. It's very smart. You need to be smart to understand it. And I'm not going to go into the details, but just trust me.
38 likes.
See, and I would trust someone named Quemberley. That sounds like someone had really intelligent parents to name their child Quemberley. It sounds like someone that I would meet on a college campus somewhere. It's probably studying something very important like accounting or finance. Is a Quemberley right there.
And he's not social science.
not a social science.
Quimberly.
Quemberley. All right, so this week, who thinks they've been doing the most interesting thing this week, and I want that person to go first.
Oh God, definitely not me.
Well, I've been trying to learn alchemy. Is that interesting? Or...
Definitely.
So I've been playing a bunch of Overwatch because I'm boring, but then I have been also playing some Enter the Gungeon, which was a game that I was excited about. And then I think I don't know, I thought I remembered them getting some not so great reviews or something like that. They're just mediocre, right? Like a 6, right? So I was like, maybe I'm not that excited about it. But it was something that sounded like Binding of Isaac for PS4. It wasn't that expensive, and it was 2 players. So I thought this would be an awesome game for me and Jen to play. And then I actually looked it up on Metacritic this weekend. I was like, oh shit, it actually has an 80 or something. That's pretty good. And so I was like, if I like Binding of Isaac, I'll probably like it even more. So I bought it and downloaded it, and Jen and I were playing. It's actually pretty darn fun so far. We haven't gotten to play very much, only maybe an hour of it. But it seems very similar to Binding of Isaac. But you go around, you find different guns, you find different passive items, you find different active items. And it seems kind of funny, you can talk to people in town and stuff like that. Rescue people, and then they'll, It's kind of like that roguelite system, it seems to me, where... when you die, it's over. You go back. You go back to the start, but you can unlock different things. And they got a boss on each floor, 1 or more treasure rooms, shop, that kind of thing. So that kind of system. You can dive roll. It's like a bullet hell kind of game, but you can dive roll through bullets to dodge them, which you need to do because it's kind of tricky. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like if you're looking for something to scratch that Binding of Isaac itch and you put in 1,000 hours like me, then could be a good option for you.
I've heard Gungeon is really fun, yeah. And one cool thing you mentioned, the dive roll, is I like how they incorporated invincibility frames as a core part of the game. Because invincibility frames from older games were things that you just sort of exploited that weren't necessarily intended.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it sort of has become a core mechanic in like a game like Dark Souls or something like that. I don't know if that's who influenced them, but it's kind of cool. It's just a system where, yeah, you need to use this. You know, you can't. You're gonna die otherwise. Sometimes you'll have like a densely packed thing of bullets, and you just kind of got to run and dive through it. But it's also kind of cool, the 2-player. I'm not sure if the second player can play as other people. Like the first character picks their person, and then the second player, so far, from what I can tell, you can only pick one character who's like the sidekick. And if you try to talk to anybody as a sidekick, they'll just basically call you a bitch and say like, I'm not talking to you, dude. You're not the protagonist. But they all have like different insults and stuff, and they just kind of shit all over the sidekick the whole game. It's kind of funny. But there's also stuff like if the sidekick has his own stuff going for him, like he can revive the main person. Like the main person will have a couple unique things like, oh, I'm the hunter, so I have this dog that follows me around and sniffs out hidden items in the room, and I've got a crossbow, which knocks things back and does a lot of damage. And then, but the sidekick can revive the host person once, and he's got this thing where if the host dies, then all of his stats go up. It's like, now that the host the protagonist isn't holding you back, you can actually do something useful. So it's kind of cool.
How would you rate the challenge of that compared to something like Isaac?
Oh, it's hard to say because I haven't gotten to play that much of Gungeon yet. It seems pretty darn challenging. We've made it through a floor, but
congrats.
Yeah, but that could easily be just because we know Isaac like the back of our hand now. We know what items are good, what items are bad, and I don't even know the core mechanics of this game yet. We just sort of jumped in, and instead of like looking it up online and stuff, we just go, and figure it out as we go. It's kind of fun.
You're not going to use a guide?
Casual.
Why would you even waste your time?
Yeah, that game is cool. It's pretty tough though.
Yeah.
It's, like really hard. I found it
It's
harder
like it
than
so far.
the other one. The other one,
The other
Yeah.
one.
Isaac.
I really struggled to get into new games, but that's one where I've downloaded it and have not really played it, but it's one of those I feel like if I started, I could really get crazy with it.
I think you'll pick it right up and be able to jump into it.
Cool. Should
Yeah,
give it a
for
shot.
sure.
Is there? It's local co-op, you said?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh,
That'd be
yeah.
fun. I'd love some of those games to get online co-op, but not that much. Like I want online co-op so I could play with one of you guys, but not a random person.
Yeah. It's like you wouldn't play with a random person, but it'd be fun to play together.
Well, and that's something where I couldn't imagine. I don't think I could imagine an indie developer hosting servers for multiplayer. They would need to go through something like PS Plus if they wanted to do that.
Yeah. It's and that might be. I mean, you could see how that could potentially be a huge barrier to entry. I mean, I don't know what's involved in PS Plus. They could have to pay licensing or something. They could have to, to place to Sony or something like that. And certainly, there's probably a big barrier from like a development standpoint of getting something like that set up. But I do appreciate the local co-op things. If you're playing on PlayStation, have a controller. But I'd like to be able to play some of these online, like Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, with my pals.
It's kind of weird that doesn't exist yet, and like most of
It's
the
weird.
games like that. Is it just because it's so intense, like in terms of like what's on the screen and whatever?
I think it's the cost. It's like hosting that stuff. It's the
Usually
cost
it's
of
indie.
infrastructure. Unless you go through another service, it could be a big pain in the ass for. I
Yeah.
mean, for virtually no extra income
Shit.
on behalf of the developer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Shit. Did it seems like the Devolver Digital plus XSplit Streamer Pack bundle. I don't know what the XSplit. I want to find this, but it looks like Broforce. Same people might be. Yeah, Devolver Digital has made both Enter the Gungeon and Broforce. Broforce was awesome for like one playthrough. It's real stupid. Like you just unlock. Every action hero from any movie that you can think of. and they all have different abilities, and it's really silly.
Is it kind of a,
that
is
was
it
really
a side
cool.
scroller?
It's a side-scrolling platformer, which is
I mean,
really
those-
goofy, really easy to die, tons of explosions, super fast-paced. It's like Contra or something like that, but it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
funny. And my brother and I played that. It's like another split-screen co-op kind of, or not split screen, it's on the same screen, but my brother and I played through that on like a vacation. It was on PlayStation Plus's free monthly thing. You also get XSplit Premium with this pack. That's weird, but it's like a weird thing to be in that bundle. But
Yeah.
that's what it is.
I don't even think I have premium. Like I have a paid version, but I don't think that's technically premium. I don't know. I
It says
don't
it's just
think I need it.
$10, and then you don't have to pay for it again. So maybe that is what you have. I don't. It says subscription. Oh shit! No. Ooh.
The devil's in the
Nine-
details, Keith.
Yeah, it is $10 at checkout. Auto renewed every month at $10. Hell no.
That's where they
bullshit.
get ya.
And that's even less clear when you buy it in a bundle like this. That's crazy. You're spending $10, like you're buying this bundle, and then it's on Steam, and then it signs you up to pay $10 every month.
This is on Steam?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like it says auto renews every month. I don't know. Can you? Is that like a subscription? Yeah, it's a subscription.
That's just I've never
as
heard of
far
a
as I can tell.
subscription through Steam like that. That's interesting.
Me either, but it literally says here, buy XSplit Premium subscription, $10, 10 at checkout, auto renewed every month at $9.99.
That's it, folks. Rip Steam. Valve, it's shit now. Fuck
Wow, all they
Steam.
want is money. Fuck Steam.
Valve, worst company ever. Rip.
Rip.
Man, we're really hitting hard with the straw men today. I like it.
Hey, speaking, let's keep rolling with this. So I just saw today, I guess, you know, I like to hate on Ark Survival Evolved. I guess they released their first DLC. It's a paid DLC, and the game's not finished yet. It's not out of early access, and they have released paid DLC for it.
Oh my god.
And everybody was super pissed and giving it bad scores. And the guy who, I mean, the head of the company, I guess, said something like, "Oh, we wanted to do it before the game is, you know, released, just in case we like screw it up," or something, basically.
Too late.
Yeah, it's a completely finished, polished expansion for Ark, as in their words, which is in itself unfinished game.
I feel like in those situations, they just never actually are planning on finishing it. They just hope that they're just going to become that game that's just like, oh well, it's just never going to be out of alpha. It's just always alpha. Like you know how Dota 2 was always like, it was always beta. Everyone's like, oh, it's just always in beta. That's just how it is. It's just beta all the time, right? It's just never going to be released. It's like the full game.
I would say something like, I'll eat my hat if it ever comes out of early access and it's actually finished, but I don't want to eat a hat, so I'm not going to say that.
Ew.
But the sentiment still stands.
The sentiment is there.
But it's just as courageous the way I'm doing it.
Just as courageous. It's very brave, Keith. Very brave.
Think of all the Reddit comment karma I'll get for this one.
That's all I got.
So I have a story that I want to tell this week, and it didn't even happen this week. In fact, it happened 2 years ago. But I like to use the podcast as sort of some like absolution for when you know those things that keep you up at night. I've had a few of those stories, and I feel like telling them on the podcast has really been therapeutic for me in the past. And this was one that hit me today at work, and I gotta tell someone about it because it's one of those that was really make me feel shitty today. I mean, not shitty, but just sort of embarrassed for my past self. So the week before I got married, I was at work, and it was my last day before I was leaving to go on to fly to where we were getting married, and not everybody, I realize now, not everybody knew I was getting married or that I was going on vacation at all. So it was like the day before I was going, and one of the guys, he was kind of like an upper level person in the room, who I kind of knew, but I don't think in retrospect had any idea that I was going to be gone or getting married or anything. So I was standing there chatting with one of my buddies, and I was on my way out. I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. And I made like when I come back, I'll be married man, whatever. And I shook his hand, and then the other guy walked over, and I shook his hand too. And now I look back and I think that man had no idea. I just, out of nowhere, just decided, like, yeah, this is the right time to just shake this man's hand. No context from his perspective. And it seems like a really benign story, but it's one of those things I look back and I just think, like, oh no, why did I do it? So that's that. And honestly, I feel better already talking about it, and now I can laugh about it and not feel terrible.
That is
Oh man.
very interesting. Aren't those like small, tiny interactions that happen in life that just stick with you forever?
Yes,
So weird.
Exactly. And
Ugh.
I realize, like, the story itself isn't even that interesting, but it's one of those things, like, it's something that I every so often will just think about and just think, like, God damn it, past Justin, why would you do that? Anyway, he's not even with the company anymore. I haven't seen him for 2 years, so I'm sure he thought, this is weird for that brief moment and never again.
And then left the company.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't take it around here.
God, these fucking awkward assholes here always trying to shake my hand when they're just going home for the day.
Oh man.
I've been playing more Diablo, as you can tell, and I'm still sticking to my original
Blizzard?
estimate, where I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to play this for about another 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be sick of it and stop. But for now, I'm really riding that wave. I'm enjoying it. It's really mindless, which I like. I have trouble getting into new games, and this is just the perfect, whatever game to play. It's just so simple. And it's so rewarding when you get a piece of gear that you've been hunting for and things like that. It's like WoW Light, because there's no commitment, and the game is relatively short, and you can play in tiny pieces. It's great.
Yeah. Definitely. It's a nice bite-sized game.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's huge, but, like, I don't know, you can just play it for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm getting close to being able to play on the highest difficulty. I've sort of hit a snag where I'm up to Torment. Well, I'm playing on Torment 10 now, but I'm playing on Torment 11, and you can go up to Torment 13. But there's just, like, going from Torment 11 to 12, it just gets, like, the enemies have astronomically more health, and I just am not sure what I really need to kind of bump me over that edge. So, I don't know. I'll think about that this week, and then probably stop playing when I realize I can't go any further.
Justin, I have a story that's, I feel like is kind of similar to your story about when I was leaving my previous job. And I was about to, like, walk out of the building. It was my last day, and I was going to a new job. And there was a woman who I had talked to, like, a number of times. Like, she was another developer, and so we had helped each other out with projects we were working on before. I was about to leave, and then I saw her there, and she was, like, talking to someone. I was like, well, I guess I should say bye. I'm, like, probably never going to see this person again. So I walked over, and she was talking to someone I did not know. And I walked over, and I said, oh, hey, I'm leaving. And then I realized that she did know that I was leaving the company, and she was like, what? And I was like, oh, I'm leaving. I got a new job. I'm leaving. It's my last day. And she was like, oh, okay. Have you lost? She said, you've lost some? And then I was like, and then I was kind of like, haha. And then I realized that it was a question. I didn't understand what she was saying. And I was like, what? And then she was like, you've lost some? And I was like, oh, like, wait? And she was like, and she kind of nodded, and I was like, oh, not really. And she was like, oh. I was like, see ya. And I walked away, and I was like, and the whole time, this guy I don't know was standing there, like, witnessing this. And so I walked away, and I was like, ugh.
Oh, that's the worst feeling.
I went, awful. That was the last thing I'll ever say to this person. That exchange.
You've lost some? That's kind of a weird question.
English, like, wasn't her first language, so I attribute it to that somewhat, but it's still very weird.
So another thing I've been playing this week is StarCraft Mass Recall was released, the newest version of it, and apparently it's still a little buggy, but I have been playing it and started a new playthrough of it on my channel, and make sure you go over and hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm sorry, I'll stop. That's a joke. I don't care if people leave likes or anything. And yeah, so it's a remake of the original StarCraft, so if anyone is interested in ever playing through the original StarCraft, give it a shot. Some people say, well, it's not like the original StarCraft. Well, no shit, it's in StarCraft 2. But the idea is, if you have not played the original StarCraft and if you don't have that nostalgia from the original StarCraft, honestly, the original StarCraft kind of it's a challenging and frustrating game to play, and you probably won't like it playing it now in 2016 if you have no nostalgia factor. At least that's what I would recommend. Some people, you know, they're hunters for that kind of old style stuff, but for a casual player, the remake is probably exactly the experience that you're looking for if you want to re-experience or just experience for the first time the original game. And no, it doesn't play exactly like the first game, but all the cinematics, all the voiceovers, all the dialogue, the story, all of the tech trees and all the unit stats all are the same. The only difference is it's in the StarCraft 2 engine, so things like the pathing are the same, are different. You can select. I'm screwing with my own mind here. You can select more than 12 units, things like that, just quality of life improvements that made the first game what it was that are just really annoying to casual players. So I'd really highly recommend it to people who want to experience the original game.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing through that, and it's strange because I really want to play it, like a lot of it, all at one time, but I can't because I'm recording it for a series, and generally if you record too much at once and then people try to leave comments, and then you're like, well, I already played like the next 3 episodes ahead, so this advice you're giving me isn't applicable. But you don't want to tell that to them. At the same time, I don't want to blatantly lie to people, so I'm trying to keep it down to like only 2 or 3 episodes in advance, but I really want to play more. It's frustrating.
Uber.
That's rough.
Frustrating.
And I saw Sausage Party over the weekend, and it was very funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, that movie looked really funny.
I would recommend it. It wasn't super bad levels funny, but it was different. It was very unique, and the ending really jumped the shark in a hilarious way.
That's awesome.
So I would highly recommend it to those of age who don't need parental supervision.
Yeah, no kids allowed. It's
Yeah.
not a kids movie.
I wish I had supervision.
Boy, me too. Brett, what have you been up to this week?
I was gonna ask, is there any reason to wait for the supposed StarCraft remake, or should people just play that mod now because it's free, right?
It is free. So I don't know, because I don't know what the StarCraft HD remake will entail. My suspicion is it will be it'll support higher resolutions. I think that they're going to fix some glaring graphical issues because there's a Windows Direct Draw issue that causes weird rainbowy colors to show up if you don't play in windowed mode. So a lot of people, when they play in using a third-party tool so that they don't have to deal with the color issues and things like that. So in that sense, if that stuff is fixed and you're interested in playing the original and you want to play the original and you understand that the original had quality of life problems, then I would wait. But again, for a casual player who just kind of wants to experience the first game on their own the first time, just, in a laid-back fashion, they want to experience the story, I would very highly just recommend playing Mass Recall. Because I don't really expect the HD remake to be delivering anything that's going to improve on the original game, to be honest, besides visuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we've kind of talked about that a lot on here.
Yeah.
I should really play that. I bet I'd love it.
It's pretty fun, and there's an easy difficulty. Apparently, it's still, the easy
For noobs
difficulty
only,
isn't like casual in StarCraft 2. It's still still a little harder, but it's not ridiculously hard. That's how I think that is.
I think I lost a mission in StarCraft 2 on casual when you have to like charge up a weapon and kill some big thing. I don't even remember, but
How did you lose the siege check? God, you're such a scrub.
I'm terrible.
Easy noob.
I really think I should stream that game. I think that'd be fun.
You should.
Get some of your peeps in there discriminating my every move.
Yeah, it's fun. Hey, at least they're generally nice about it.
Yeah, I know. They're all right. I'm just kidding.
They're okay.
So what have I been up to? I've been doing a lot more. I wouldn't say a lot more, but I've been doing some Street Fighter tournaments still. There's just like a lot of free kind of casual tournaments you can enter that are fun. A lot of them are put on by Reddit, like the Street Fighter subreddits and like the fighting game subreddit.
Mm-hmm. They're all digital tournaments?
Yeah, which isn't great because it's like twice now that I've pretty much lost a tournament because of a laggy opponent. But yeah, that's pretty frustrating.
Wait, they were laggy and you lost?
Yeah.
What?
Well, so the way that the network works is if you're getting rollback, which essentially means like so if I want to do a combo, I need to make sure that one of my buttons hits, right? Like I need to do a low kick. We'll just say like a crouching medium kick. If I see that hit, I'm gonna start going ham and just input everything. But so rollback occurs in Street Fighter V. The way that the netcode works is sometimes you'll see the hit, but it'll actually be blocked on their end, and because they have the shitty connection, I'm the one that gets the rollback, and they just see me blocking it or see them blocking it. So it's really bullshit, and it's a really awful way to play a fighting game. It's just not natural, and you don't really learn anything from it, because the whole idea is like you figure out how to do those hit confirms, is what they call them, is like converting one hit into a whole bunch of damage. So
that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. That's fun though. It's really it's fun to get all that tournament experience. But yeah, I've also been playing some WoW since last week.
Oh, I saw that you logged on there. How is it?
Yeah, it's not bad. They've made some cool little quality of life changes. In terms of like questing, they kind of like highlight what you need to get easier, and I like that a lot. I mean, I haven't really gotten to the late game stuff, and I never have, so I can't really comment on the true nuances of that game, but I'm enjoying leveling. It's just kind of like, it's like it's mind numbing, and it's kind of boring, but like you can like watch a TV show or a stream in the background while you're doing it, and I don't know, it's kind of nice. It's sort of like Diablo in that sense.
I think about trying it every so often. I know I can't. I just can't go back to playing that game. But so there's, I mean, Azathin's in the chat right now. He casts games of it's a custom Warcraft 3 custom map called Azeroth Wars, and it's very lore centric. And every time I watch it, I just think like, oh, I want to play WoW so badly, but I can't. I can't do it. I sunk way too much time in it. Granted, when I used to play, the game was super different. I played during Burning Crusade, and it was like, if you don't put in 6 hours 3 days a week at least, there's no way you could experience the end game content. Like, oh, you're interested in the story of Warcraft? Fuck you, casual player who played Warcraft 3 and just want to know what happens to someone like Illidan, something like that. It's just I can't do that again.
Well, I guess leveling is kind of a joke nowadays, I guess, because I mean you can just grind out dungeons and probably get to like, I don't know, I think I got to 60 in like, I don't know, maybe 15 hours or something way back. But then I stopped playing, so that didn't really do me any good. I've heard a lot of good things about the expansion, though, and that like leveling is actually kind of difficult and not just a joke. And what else? Oh, and so for this playthrough, I started as a Pandaren, which I've never done. And so it puts you on like a weird island, and it's like heavily inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know if anybody's ever watched that and also played the Mists of Pandaria.
Huh.
That's awesome.
But like the music, and then he's also I don't know, the island's a giant turtle, which is really sick. And there's some quests kind of revolving around that too. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And now I'm a giant fucking panda on a role-playing server.
Role-playing server.
That is the last thing I would expect you to be doing, Brett, and I love it.
It's like role-playing PvP. I don't know. Everybody else is going on it because it was like highly populated, because we're doing it with like Chris and Bailey and Dan and Jess. So we have like a 5-man squad. Or, I'm sorry, not Jess. Jesse, who's just another friend of ours. But yeah, it's been enjoyable.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to stick with that? I know you played it a little bit during Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty much on the cusp of not playing it anymore, which is not good. So I need to, because like I'm trying to get to level 15 on another character so I can do dungeons with them and then just grind up to level, I don't know, whatever. I kind of want to get to 60 because I've never done the expansion stuff. So I want to get to 60 and then start doing those quests rather than just like questing normally.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
That's an interesting segue into our topic.
Segue.
I don't know why I mimicked you there. Yeah. So a topic idea, because honestly, it didn't seem like there was too much game news this week. Was let's talk about some games that you just flat out abandoned. Why'd you do it? What games were they?
Also, WoW.
Also,
What
Brett,
other
were you
game?
done? I'm sorry. I realized maybe you had more to talk about. Something crazy.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. That's all I got. I haven't really been playing much. Oh, actually, you know, I do want to say I think I want to pick up this Humble Game Maker bundle because I've been floating the idea around in my head that I want to write a book because I really enjoyed fiction writing in all my English classes. So I've been like kind of you know, fondling an idea, whatever the word is.
No, that's the right word, fondling.
Yeah, definitely fondling. I was realizing that my book idea seems like it would be really cool as like a video game. So I don't know, maybe I'll take some time to learn how to do this stuff. It's probably not super easy, but I guess that there's a lot of like tutorials and it's pretty intuitive, and it's got like its own. I guess the game maker studio has its own code that's like really easy to understand and stuff. There's a lot of video tutorials.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
could get sort of a simple one going, and then
yeah, and so people were saying that this bundle, so for $15 you get like $1,800 worth of software, and so it's just like an insane deal.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brett, why don't you tell us what this idea you have is, and don't mind me typing in the background. I'm definitely not copying down everything you're saying.
I can't do that.
I'm just kidding.
No, but seriously though, my basic premise is that I want to sort of explore like one person in the entire world being the only person that has like powers or something weird. I don't know. I want there to be like a shrouded mysticalness, mysticism in like a real world setting. I don't know. Sort of like Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah.
But like maybe not as extreme as that.
Well, one thing I think is cool about the magic in Game of Thrones is it's very ominous and it's very dark and unexplained. Like, nobody really understands why these weird things are happening. Like, there's magic, but it generally results in really bad things, or it requires really bad things to work, which I think is neat.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see if that becomes a thing. I've been thinking about it for a while, so I'll let you guys know when I'm the next John Grisham or Ann Coulter, you know.
Yeah, keep me updated. And I ran some of these ideas by my publisher just now, and he said that if this
before
goes
you
through,
said them though,
we get like 50% of the profits of any future book you might write, because we're contributing a lot right now.
Okay.
Because that opinion I had on Game of Thrones, that's actually very valuable. I expect to be duly compensated.
Sounds good.
And Brett wants everyone to let everyone know. Let's try to make it. We said 38, but if we can make it to 40 likes, Brett said he'll write his book this week. He'll get a chapter out that everyone can read this week for 40 likes. So let's make it happen, guys.
Yeah.
And girls. I don't want to leave anyone out.
it's very inclusive of you, Justin. That you didn't have to say that, but I think everybody really appreciates that you did.
So games that we've abandoned. Well, I can tell you that Diablo 3 is going to be one here in about a month.
Yeah. Oh man,
Brett, I feel like you of all of us would have
so many.
Yeah, way more than us combined.
Yeah. It's gonna have the best content for this question.
The best content.
Can't even wait to hear.
I'm looking at my Steam library. Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, I have abandoned it twice now at about the same exact point. It's got like a really cool formula, but it just gets so old so fast.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably like one of the best open world games ever made, but it still suffers from repetitiveness. Just truly a shame.
I feel like that's kind of an issue with open world games in general, is because it's open world, it intrinsically lacks a certain standard of progression. Like, you obviously can progress, and a lot of people do, but there are some instances where people just fail to progress because it's open world and slightly random.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And unless they do that main quest, they're just going to be behind forever.
It's gonna keep going and going and going and going. Like, if you did all the content in Witcher 3, like, that game would be too long for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on the way you play it, and like Skyrim and things like that. I mean, you could finish them. There's definitely been a lot of games that I've finished just sort of for finishing's sake, not because I actually wanted to.
Yep, I'm the same way. I almost never abandon games, but there's many I'm reluctant to finish.
Yeah. Mass Effect, the first one, was definitely one that I abandoned, and I remember the exact moment when I did it, and it was basically because I played through that intro, and it was the first Mass Effect. I played through all the other ones. That intro, I played through it, and then I got to the Citadel, and it just was like a mood I was in, I feel like. But I got to the Citadel, and then like realized how big it was, and I was gonna have to talk to all of these people. And I was just like, ugh, fuck this. And I just put it down. I think it was really definitely more about my mood at the time than it was about the actual quality of the game. Because God knows I've played a lot of games like that and not really had a problem with it. But that's definitely one of them.
That's what happened to me with Skyrim. And that happens to me with a lot of open world games, just with the way that I play games. I mean, it's pretty much what you just said about Witcher 3. Like, if you try to be a completionist, there's no way you're ever going to want to.
Just going to have a terrible time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I can't stand that. I hate being selective with what I want to do in a game. It's just overwhelming to me. I want to be able to do everything and not feel burnt out.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It just doesn't seem like the case.
I think that's why I like the new Doom so much. Is they have these challenges in there and they have secrets, but there's a nice little progression. Like the maps are nicely separated, and each map has a little progression tally on there, like these are the secrets that you've gotten, and here are the weapon upgrades, and like here's your map, and you can find the ones that you've missed. So like you can spend as much or as little time as you want, and you can go through the levels and you can get everything, and it's not a tall order if you want to get everything. But if you don't, you also can just finish the level whenever you want. And it's just really satisfying the way that they just lay out your progress on each mission. If you want to get everything, it's really satisfying too. But if you're someone that doesn't really care about that, then it's not going to bother you. I think they did it very well in that game.
Yeah.
Witcher 2 is one where I started off, and it was like probably the only game where I've just gotten in Binding of Isaac. It's funny, like some of my favorite games, I at one point just quit in disgust. Just like, and I don't know what it is.
It took me like 3 tries to get into Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
I have a few games where I was, like looking back, I'm surprised it took me so long to get into, because I played the first Mass Effect closer to when it came out, and so I really liked it. And then when I played the second one, it was such a shock, like with how different it was, that I didn't play it again for like a year. I was like, I don't like it. I didn't like it. Because it just, the combat felt so different. But, looking back now, after I've played it a bunch of times, the combat in Mass Effect 2 is like 1,000,000 times more refined than in 1. So I can't believe that I actually put the game down thinking that I didn't like it. But, I don't know, you just gotta give it some time, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny, one game, going back to Metal Gear a little bit, is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which is the game by Platinum Games, where you play as Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's basically just an insane action game. Has very little to do with Metal Gear, besides like the setting and the enemies.
Is that a hack and slash?
I mean, it's sort of like Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, okay.
Like Black for Xbox.
Well, don't say that.
I know, I'm sorry. I really liked the game a lot, and the whole time you're fighting these crazy huge bosses that are like wicked cool, and you're scaling them, and it's freaking awesome. And it's got this wicked awesome mechanic where you're like, you can slice the sword at any angle you want, and it just like will chop things up into like 1,000,000 pieces. It's really cool. And then the last boss is like the president, and so it's just this small dude who is obscenely powerful. And so I've never gone back because I couldn't beat the last boss. And I literally stopped playing. The last time I played it was in 2014. And I loved it. I thought it was sick.
It's just that president, man.
Forever. The fucking president of the United States of America.
That president.
Here's one. I admittedly never finished Skyward Sword. Didn't do it. I think from the beginning, I was disliking it because it felt like there was no real overworld. It felt like there were mini overworlds that weren't really overworlds. They really you just went to an area, and it was almost just felt like a level, and not a dungeon, but like a level of an overworld that led to the dungeons. And I didn't really like it, and I didn't really care for some of the new items, and I didn't really like I didn't think that the Wii Motion Control stood up on its own to be good enough. And the second that I got those stupid digging mitts, and I was crawling through those tunnels in that lava area, I'm like, this is so fucking stupid, and I have not ever played it since then. Because those stupid, I don't know, when I put those digging mitts on, that's when maybe it just became apparent how much I knew I didn't like playing it at that point, so I just put it away.
I don't even remember that. It's funny, they just re-released that game on the Wii U eShop, and I bought it. And
you don't have to sound ashamed.
No.
The way you said that.
I'm not going to enjoy it again. I started playing it, I'm like, oh my god, I don't like this game at all.
Yeah, that's my least favorite Zelda by far. I would play Zelda 2. I would play... Well, actually, Zelda 2, a lot of people love, so I shouldn't be talking about Zelda 2 like it's universally panned, but I would take most any other Zelda over Skyward Sword. Ugh. Not a fan.
I think it's got its point. It's got its moments, but it's just it's too repetitive.
Yeah, it felt
it could
gimmicky.
Be so much smaller in scale.
Yes.
Like the way you have to fight that one big monster 3 times the exact same way. And you have to go to the same area 3 times each. And there's only 3 places. You know, they touted a whole open world, but really it's just this segmented, there's just a bunch of levels everywhere in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know. The game is a disappointment. But we don't want to go down that road again, do we?
I have an admission for a game that I've never finished because I was really excited about it and I talked about it on the podcast. I never actually finished XCOM 2. And let me explain why before everyone says, Jayborino, you're so into that game. I got to the final engagement, the very end of the game, and you know, I was playing on the hard difficult, not normal, but not super hard, the middle one, and I had made it through the whole game with relatively minimal casualties, and I had never had to blatantly restart a mission, and I never had a complete squad wipe. So I was riding this high. I'm like, man, I'm enjoying this because I'm doing so well. And I got to the last mission, which was abnormally difficult. And I got to the very end when you have to face it's like the final boss. I forget what it's called, but it's the Avatar. You have to fight the final Avatar in the room where 1 million enemies just keep spawning on those side platforms. And I squad wiped, and I was thinking I could reload this because it wasn't Iron Man, and I thought I could reload this, and instead I turned the game off and I have not played it since. And I'm ashamed. I feel like maybe I should go back, but I'm also the kind of person that if I were to go back to that game, I would have to start over. I couldn't be all right, I'm just going to get closure on this game. I'd start a whole new thing, and I think to myself, well, that's not worth my time, so I'll probably just never play it again.
I abandoned that game because it ran like shit on my PC, so...
Yeah, there were definitely some spikes, some lag spikes, and they fixed a few of them with some updates, but there's one, when your team is jumping out of the Sky Ranger and grabbing onto the ropes to rappel down into the combat zone, it always stuttered very badly for me. And, that doesn't make or break a game for me, but I know that when you were playing it, it was much worse. It was, much, much worse.
Yeah, all the cutscenes would just start degrading in audio quality and delaying and stuff. It was really messed up. And I don't know if it was just my system because I haven't tried it since then, since they updated it. Because I know they did optimize it a little bit, I think, but I don't know. It's just another one where I'm just I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be in the mood for an XCOM game again, but not today.
But it is not this day.
I abandoned.
We both had the same.
I abandoned Dota 2 because it was ruining my emotional stability.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man.
Your melon.
We played so much. We played so much of that game.
I know it's hard to say we abandoned it.
We were pretty good too. We were pretty good.
We were. We were real good.
Maybe you guys just finished Dota 2.
Oh yeah, I beat the last boss.
I beat the last boss. I defended my ancient.
The angry 14-year-old yelling at me from an internet cafe. He was the last boss.
Ugh.
I know. I've been like watching a lot of Dota actually lately because my favorite pro player Arteezy started streaming again. He had like some exclusive deal with I don't know Panda.tv when he was with Team Secret, but I guess now that's over. So he's been streaming on Twitch again, and it's been fun. It's cool to watch a really, really good player play the game.
Yeah. You know what's kind of weird for that game? Well, that and League of Legends. Isn't it kind of weird to think that a lot of new people keep picking up those games? And I just think, like, how does somebody coming in who's new, who doesn't know how to play, how do they put up with just being berated? Or does that just not start happening until later down the road?
I really don't know. I think it probably does start happening way later down the road. Like, I have this guy on YouTube that I watch who simply does, like, I don't know, he repairs motherboards or something. His name's Lewis Rossman. He's really awesome.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, so he'll occasionally just upload him talking over Dota games, and it is atrocious. It, like, makes me sick. He'll buy boots first on his supports and, like, not buy a courier and stuff. And I just can't stand it. And it's, like, very clear to me that the duration that this guy has been playing the game, which sounds like it's been forever. He still calls Lifestealer Nakes, so...
Nakes.
Yeah, which is from Dota 1.
Yeah.
And, you know, Warcraft or whatever. And so he's just terrible, but the people he plays with are also just god-awful, and nobody's really saying anything to each other. They're not... So I think everybody's kind of in the know that they're just there to, like, kill an hour of their
Fuck
time.
around, yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I would start a Smurf, I would play like one game, and it was always new people. That's only happened like once or twice that I started a new account. I'd play like one game, and nobody would really say anything, and then the next game would just be full of toxic people, and so obviously there was like some calibration going on. So, you know, I think there probably is a safe haven for people who are really, really bad at the game.
A safe haven.
I don't think we'll ever get there.
I'm gonna go back and make a Smurf account and just
be there.
play
It's
at
this
low
beautiful
levels.
place where people can just be terrible in peace.
And not be fucking yelled at all the time. They can just have fun and be bad at the same time. Heaven forbid. Ugh. That's what turned me off from that game as well.
What a game.
Keith,
What
what
a
about
game.
what about Twisted Metal Black? There's a game I know you didn't finish.
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know if I told the story on the podcast before, but that was a game that... So I had played all the previous Twisted Metal games. For those of you who don't remember those games, they were basically these... It was like violence, like they were all rated mature, but it was a goofy violence. Like, it was just cartoony, and you're like, yeah, you can run over this little, 3-pixel guy, and he'll turn red with blood or something like that, but no one cares. Like, it's not... And then it's just stupid. And then Twisted Metal Black came out, and it was on like a new console, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, the new Twisted Metal game finally came out after so long. Oh my god. And it was rated mature and had like a different style. My mom was like, I was too young to buy it at the time, and she was like, are you sure you want to get this game? Like, it's, it's rated mature. Like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't get it for you. And I was like, Mom, look, it's fine, I've played all the other ones, it's just gonna be the same as the other ones. And it's just goofy cartoony violence. No one cares. And she was like, yeah, okay, all right, that's fine. She bought it for me. And then I played it, and I was like playing it, and it's horrifying. Like, because in addition to the normal gameplay, which is, just cars, but it's a little more brutal than usual, with like, running over past like people, pedestrians and stuff like that. There are these horrible cutscenes with just the most horrific things you can possibly think of. Like, everybody, it's like this cursed tournament, and everybody involved is like the worst of the worst people. And this one is like the two that I remember that were like, that creeped me out the most was there was this just insane lady that was really lonely, and she always wanted to get boyfriends, but it never worked out. And then her best friend was getting married, so she showed up at the wedding, and something snapped, and I stabbed her husband, and I stabbed my friend, and then I put on this wedding dress that's sopped in blood, and now I drive a car around. And it's like, and they show it. It's like these animated cutscenes. And then this other one was like, oh, I was this guy who worked in the fields, and then I found out that my wife was cheating on me with this. sorry, no, I was working on the field, and then this crop dusting pilot came over me while I was working in the field and put a bunch of pesticides on me, and my face morphed into this horrible mess, and my whole body twisted and contorted in weird ways, and it made me go crazy. And I staggered back to where my wife was, and I found her with the crop dusting pilot, and they were cheating on me, so I beat both of them to death with a crowbar, and now I drive cars around.
It's like really bizarre character bios that seem unnecessary.
Weird. It's weird that you guys all battle in cars now. It seems like a weird path. But so then I played like 24 hours straight, just in my basement playing this game in the dark, and then I like brought it upstairs to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I don't think I can play this game anymore. Can we return it? and we returned it, and I got my money back. I think I got some money back or something. I don't remember.
It's funny because you think in a game like that, is it really necessary to have like really, really in-depth biographies for these people that in like a goofy car game where you're just like smashing and things like, okay, this guy's got a weird face. That's the extent of that. This woman wears a wedding dress that's bloody. All right, I think I can suspend my disbelief in a game where I'm running people over. Like, it's just...
I can't even see them. They're in the cars. Like, before that, it would just be like this cartoony thing, and like you'd play as Thumper, and it was just this like racist depiction of an African American, and the character bio was just like, when I finish this tournament, I'm gonna kick it with my homies in the crib, and dumb shit like that. And then in the next one, it's just horrible graphic violence, and so that it basically went from being a very goofy, mildly racist game to just being an absolute horror show. And, so it's weird. It's just weird thinking of like the different reasons that people return their games. You know, it could be like boring, or it could be too hard, or it could be like just disturbing.
I remember I was really into on-rail shooters for a little bit of time when I was playing on Wii back when it was a thing. I had the Umbrella Chronicles and the Dark Side Chronicles, which were on-rails Resident Evil shooters, and I really liked those, and I got really good at them. So I went and I looked for any other on-rails ones that I could find, and I think it was like House of the Dead 3 and 4 or something like that, and I tried them, and they were not good. They weren't enjoyable at all, and I remember I returned them, and I got all my money back, and I look back on that, and I just think, like, I don't think that was allowed. Like, I don't think they should, like, I had the game for over a week, and they just let me return it for full price. It's just, it's weird to look back on that. Like, I don't think they should have let me do that.
Yeah, you're like, that's a weird choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't occur to me at the time. That's why it kind of feels weird looking back, because I just went back, and I'm like, I don't like this game. I'm going to return it. So, like, it's as if I got a free rental of the game.
Yeah. That's why I was just, like, second-guessing myself about the Twisted Metal game, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just, like, returned it, and they gave me all my money.
Yeah.
Weird, different times.
Yeah. That would not happen again today.
Oh, yeah.
Anecdote. Let's get right into the anecdote.
Anecdote.
Describe your dream living situation / home.
Oh, I will.
I mean more like the...
Only after Brett.
Only after Brett. I mean like the physical location. Like what do you want? What amenities would you like in your home as a luxury?
In my home or like around my home? So I was gonna say I'd really like to live like on the water. I mean I kind of live on the water already.
That counts. That can count. That can count.
So there's this beautiful house near me. I live kind of near like a cul-de-sac that's got a bunch of rich houses, and it's on my walking route. And so I'm always admiring the houses there. And there's this one really, really nice house that has like a gated courtyard that leads into their house. And
Jesus.
It also has this gigantic yard that just overlooks like the whole river. And you can see like all of the two cities that are out there. And you can see a bridge and stuff. It's just fucking sick, dude. I want something like that. Every time I go by, I'm like, damn, it's so awesome. And it's like some nice old man that lives there. Yeah,
that's what you think.
Do you ever see a really nice
bodies
house?
in there, Brett.
You ever see a really nice house and then you're kind of like, You're like, huh? I guess this isn't too far away from where I live. Like, let's just look. Let's just like see how much it is. Like maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could like rent one of these places. And you look and you're like, oh my god damn it! It's just an obscene amount of money, more than you could have ever expected. I have. In these places like near where I live, yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know. You look it up in there, it's like, hey, it's $1 million house. You can't rent it. Okay.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to one up here. I would just like to add to your story. Because I live in Manhattan. I'm sorry. I have to preface because it's just like anytime someone says that, I live near Manhattan, it's like, oh, New York City. But it's just out of curiosity, I've checked some of the apartment condo listings around here for like a 1,000 square foot apartment. So not even that big, like $1.5 million. Unbelievable.
Jeez,
I just can't imagine.
ridiculous.
Like, why would you not just go move somewhere else? Why would you be willing to pay that much for such a small place? Like, if I'm paying $1.5 million, it better be a goddamn mansion.
Yeah.
Or on the beach or something, not in the middle
like
of fucking
the places
Manhattan.
I'm looking at. Yeah, they'll be like condos and it'll be like $1 million and it'll be like a mansion, you know? An absolute mansion.
That's unbelievable. I'm in Jersey City and it's that much around here. So like I can't imagine in Midtown what it would be like in there. Probably $2-3 million. It's just unbelievable what people are willing to pay. Just people with tons of money, I guess. I don't know.
You know, it's like I'm not trying to one up you, Justin, but like it's like I live in Manhattan too, and sometimes I'll walk around it and I'll see these big buildings, and I think like I could probably afford to own one of those. And then I look up, and it's like a little bit more than you would expect.
It's a little bit more than the ones you were just talking about, actually. Ugh.
I want a dog too.
Oh, okay.
I like dicks.
I don't know if that's part of the house.
Yeah, no, that counts as your living situation.
Yeah.
I want a
think
dog.
so.
Yeah, what's the bitch's situation like, Brett? I guess you said you really wanted a dog, right? Juvenile.
So it's weird that you asked this question because just yesterday my brother and his wife are building a house. They're just getting in like the starting phases of it. But he's like, all right, so this is like my one chance. Like any of that stuff that you're like, boy, this would be awesome to have this in my house, but I'd have to do this crazy remodeling. And because my one chance, it wouldn't cost that much more for me to just put it in right now. So just like any suggestions you have. So Jen and I just made this big list of all kinds of stuff that would be awesome to have in a house. Just put down like literally everything we could think of. And we know that they're not going to do like 99% of the stuff, but we just wrote down a bunch of dumb shit and some things that we actually met and then some stupid stuff. So we were like, yeah, like home theater. So you got your speakers and like tiered seating, like a big TV that's like built into the wall or a projector or something like that. You know, you can play your games there. How about a game room? How about like a pool table and a ping pong table and a foosball table and darts and like whatever you want all in your basement. In that same room, you have your bar and you got like a fully stocked, you got everything you want there, your mixers, your drinks, maybe some nice juices and some like different soft drinks.
Some nice
Getting expensive.
Definitely no alcohol because
No.
We don't condone alcohol on the Damage Per Second podcast.
obscene.
It's illegal.
and then we're like, yeah, like a jacuzzi bath, like a deep bath. You got like walk-in closet. You want like a grill, like an outdoor patio where you can like lay out and stuff. You want a greenhouse. You want instant hot water spigot built into your sink. My parents have one of those. It's pretty cool if you want to make tea really quick.
Oh, that's cool.
You want to get like a smart thermostat and solar panels. You want a warped wall from Ninja Warrior. You want a creepy old attic with a bunch of old porcelain dolls. These are all things that we've all dreamed of having. And then also a fireplace with a chimney.
That was at the end of your list after all that?
That's the end, yeah. I mean, there were more things, but I just listed the ones that I thought were interesting. Fence, yeah, you definitely want like a fenced-in backyard for a dog, because then you can just let him sort of run around. When you don't feel like walking him, you just let him run around and poop, and then your backyard just becomes a poop yard, and you don't ever pick it up, and you don't walk out.
A poop yard.
Poop yard.
Becomes the poop zone.
So that group of stuff, that's your ideal home, Keith?
Yeah. Oh, and a garbage disposal.
You know, you'd be surprised. It's a luxury
Yeah.
to a lot of people.
I have a trash compactor, and I think it saves us a lot of money.
That's dank.
Oh,
How does it save money? Is it because it like?
Yeah, you just make your trash more compact, and we have to buy trash bags here, like special trash bags for them to come and pick up the trash.
Ah,
And so we get to really cut down on how many we have to use by
nice.
compacting it.
Compacting it.
You know, I put a lot of thought into this question myself, and I think I'm okay where I'm at.
I know. Realistically speaking, I'm pretty content.
So I want a home with a yard where I could have a big dog, like a big dog. I want a dog that
Like
requires
Clifford big?
yeah, like an out no. Yes, I want a big red dog the size of Clifford. I want a yard. So yeah, I want an outdoor dog. That's very important to me. I would really like that. Also, because I'm slightly allergic to dogs, so it's a dog that I can go outside and play with a little bit, but also not have to have inside and ruin the carpeting and get hair everywhere, and that kind of stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And you want to get a hypoallergenic dog. Don't get a hyperallergenic dog. They're just designed to give you extra allergies.
They're designed that way. They're bred to give people with allergies more problems.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, like a dog that sheds is probably going to be way worse for your allergies.
And then on top of that, I think a pool table. I would love, like you were saying, Keith, like a game room den with a pool table. But I don't want a room where the pool table is hastily put in later, such that there's not really enough room for the pool table. You know what I mean? I want a room that can fit the pool table comfortably, such that you never have to worry about hitting the wall with the cue. I don't want any of that. I want a pool table, a full-size pool table in a room that has plenty of room around it. I also would want a foosball table.
How many finished basements have you been in that have like a pool table in it? Like that's the perfect place to put one.
That's true.
Perfect place to put one.
Perfect place to put one. Perfect place to put one.
Perfect place to put one.
I would like a game room, not really a game room, but like a room where I could have my computer, but I want it to be in a room with floor-to-ceiling windows that I can look out either right past my desk or to the side of my desk.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Well, you're hacking into the mainframe.
A lot of sun in there.
Yeah, and I would like it. Yeah, I think like a sunroom where I would have my desk where I spend a lot of time to either do work or to play games. I think would be awesome.
Have fun closing the blinds on all those windows every time you want to look at pornography.
Well said. Okay. No, see, this would be in the back of the house that faces the woods.
That'd be good. Or high enough up.
Or high enough up, yeah.
For some reason, the big window picture makes me think of like that guy from 50 Shades of Grey. It's kind of what I imagine your dream home being. Is for a really sexual beast.
Oh sure, yeah, that's me.
I posted in the chat the Louis C.K. the Clifford the Big Red Dog thing. I'm just gonna say it.
Just say it. Enough. Say the joke.
Basically, I just love it. He talks about Clifford the Big Red Dog, and he says like, "There's 50 books about him, and it's the same story. It says, look how big this dog is." I don't care. You just drew him that way.
We're actually going to see Louis C.K. He's going to be at Madison Square Garden.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
I know. We're going to see him on it's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, yeah. Very excited.
Have you ever gotten to perform at Madison Square Garden? I know that's like a big rite of passage for not rite of passage because barely any comedians ever get to do it. But that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Real quick. Have you guys seen his comedy special Live at the Comedy Store on Netflix?
I think that was recently put on, wasn't it?
I think so. And I gotta say, I didn't really like it.
Oh, man. Really?
It was like weird. He kind of is taking on like a new way of telling jokes. He's like being a little louder and like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh man.
You guys will have to let me know. I mean, I still think he's gonna be amazing to see live, but
Brett, I take your word for it.
I saw him live however
He's-
many
he's-
years ago.
I'll take your word for it. I'm just gonna assume this show I'm going to is gonna be bad. Solid tickets, and what's the point, right? Big Beeman told me he's bad. I mean, why would I even bother? I'm gonna trust my friend, right?
He's my best friend, and he told me that it was. He said, he said, and I quote, "It sucks dick, and if you go, you're an idiot." So I'm not going anymore. It's fine.
I mean, do I? I don't want
Best
to.
friend
I don't want
told me
to.
it.
I don't want to go to something that sucks dick. That'd be disgusting.
It's gross. So yeah.
My best friend told it to me.
Well, I'll let you know how it is, Brett. And you know what? I'm gonna watch that other special. I might watch that other special tonight. And I'm gonna hate watch it because I'm gonna go into it with low expectations and and then when it's over, like, yep, Brett was right. Yep.
Yep.
So expect a text from me later being like, you were fucking right, Brett. I can't believe I doubted you for a second. And I
a lie.
didn't. It hasn't even been a second. I didn't doubt you at all.
I just scalped my tickets.
I already sold them.
Went into the roads of New York City, and I scalped them.
While still on my headset.
That's
The
legal.
range on these are amazing. Get Sennheiser, folks. They're great.
We are not sponsored.
Podcast, Brad. Fine.
We are not sponsored. I wish I was sponsored by Sen. I wish I was sponsored by anybody. Get that fat cash coming in, you know what I'm saying?
Sell it in a second.
I would
That would
sell
be
out
fun.
in a second.
Giant Bomb does funny skits with their sponsors. So
Yeah.
any sponsors listening in, we'll do funny skits with your shit. Come on over.
Yeah.
Come on over to JayborinoPlays.
Didn't you hear earlier, potential sponsors? I said I would wear a gorilla mask. That could be hilarious. A guy
video.
wearing a mask of a gorilla? Come on! That's classic comedy.
What more do you need?
My favorite, this is getting so off topic, but my favorite part of of seeing people wearing masks is seeing the lifeless eyes through the holes. And I can just imagine.
My favorite part of seeing people wear the masks that I put onto them when they're tied up is seeing their lifeless eyes.
That sounds way worse.
That does sound a little worse, doesn't it?
Oh shit.
Well, on the note of kidnapping people and putting masks on them, I think it's about time we drew this to a close.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I hope you join us next week. Every week, Tuesdays, I guess a little after 7, not exactly 7, because things always go awry for whatever reason. But no, actually at 7 o'clock, usually on time.
Disgraceful.
Once we figure out what the number is going to be for that week. But we hope you come and join us next time, as we're going to continue with the hot and heavy, crazy, silly, goofy shenanigans, gorilla masks. This is the DPS podcast signing out.
Goodbye!
Sorry. That might have come through really loud.
Goodbye.